Inca's recording system. While Egypt had hieroglyphs on paper and stone, and Mesopotamia had the cuneiform pressed into clay, the Inca appeared to lack a written language that we would recognize. This has always been a puzzle to archaeologists, who habitually assume that advanced civilizations must have had some system for their central administration to keep track of what went on in its empire. The only possible Incan system of recording information could have been the mysterious knotted strings known as quipu. A typical quipu consisted of several twist plaits of string that descend from a single unified string. Each descending string is dyed in many different colors, are twisted to the right or left, and have a wide variety and number of knots tied in them. Cord color, cord length, knot type, knot location, and cord twist direction together hold information that was once readable by several South American societies. The main content of quipu are numbers which are expressed by knots on a section of rope. Unlike our Arabic numbers, which uses 10 different symbols for each digit, quipu markers tied multiple knots in a tight sequence to represent a digit. Digits can range from no knots representing 0 to 9 knots representing 9. Multiple sequences of knots represent digits that make up a number larger than 10. The number 321, for example, would be represented as 3 sequences of knots, the first one with 3 knots, the second with 2 knots, and the last one with 1 knot. In this sense, quipu was a positional 10-base numeric system that, instead of being coded in written symbols, is encoded in knots. 3 different kinds of knots are used in quipu. Commonly, the single knot S is used to represent the value of 1 except in the very last position. In the last position, 2 different knot types are used. The figure 8 knot, E, represents the value 1 in the last digit, whereas multiple 4-turn long knots, L, represent values higher than 1 in the last position. In other words, the figure 8 knot and the 4-turn long knot are both used to signal the end of a number. During excavations in the 1950s, a cache of quipu was discovered in an urn near the ruins of the Parachuco Palace, a major regional and administrative site in the central highlands of the Inca Empire. Recent research into this collection of quipu showed that it contains some form of hierarchical accounting information. Based on the number of numeric codes, the quipus can be divided into 3 groups that the scholars labeled levels 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 quipus have 6 sections, level 2s have 3, and level 3s have only 1. On all levels, these sections almost always have the same number of pendant numeric chords arranged in the same color pattern, implying that they all record the same set of goods. If one adds up numeric chords in the same position across different sections of a level 1 quipu, the sum is equal or very close to a single numeric chord in the same position in one section of a level 2 quipu. Similarly, level 2 numeric chords sum up to a single level 3 numeric chord. This tells us that the accounting information is being summarized at an increasingly higher level, with the level 3 quipu most likely representing the grand total of goods. In addition, level 2 and 3 quipus also have what is called introductory segments. In every introductory segment, there is always a pendant chord that contains 3 figure-8 E knots. Since figure-8 knots can also serve as the number 1 in the last position on the toefl number, a sequence of 3 figure-8 knots is clearly not a number. Instead, it is argued that the sequence might represent the name of the town, and that the information is there so that when the toefls would be passed to administrators outside of Porocho, it would still be identifiable as Poruchuco's toefls. Other information that must be stored there would be what kind of thing is being counted and possibly for what period of time.